This episode of Says Who is brought to you by you through your support of our Patreon at patreon.com/sayswho. Our Patreon, where pretty much every Sunday, there have been a couple in the last past that, come on, cut us a break. Where pretty much every Sunday, you get this all over again. You get me and Maureen doing a little something we call the Town Watch, which is like 30 minutes and looser, if you can believe it. And that is available to you if you give it the $5 or $10 a month level. That $10 a month level also gets you a sticker in the mail. Every month, you become a member of the Says Who Sticker Club. It's a good club. Patreon.com/sayswho.
Oh, I wrote a book. It's called Death Morning House. It'll be out on August 6th. If you want to order that book, that would be great. I'll be so happy if you did. And you can find out who did all the murders. You'll find out and you'll have a good time. So, My Death Morning House by Maureen Johnson, or I'll sneak up on you from behind.
Wow.
I just made that up.
When you said you can find out who did all the murders, I just imagined that in this book you spoil a lot of other books.
Yeah, I do. I also I'm like, who killed Roger Ackroyd? Well, I'll tell you.
Yeah. You're spoiling true crime podcasts. You're just all of them. Every murder solved in one book.
It's called Maureen Solves It. And it's just a list, just cases and names. You just go across. It's not even a story.
Well, if you'd like to pre-order that book, you can always go to our online bookshop, which is handily available to you at kickbezosintheballs.org. That you can pre-order that. You can pick up books we talked about on the podcast. You can also just enter in a name of a book in a search bar and get that too. It's all there for you on the internet. Might catch on. kickbezosintheballs.org. And while you are on that internet, go on over to merch.sayswhopodcast.com, where we sell Says Who merchandise. You can get all kinds of stuff. You can also head over to shop.dansinker.com, where I sell you 3 patches. Those are things that we sell. Oh, Maureen.
Bonjour.
Oh, hello.
Oh, bonjour.
Okay, bonjour. Where are you, Maureen?
Oh,
I'm picking up some signals.
Oh, let me just put down my baguette. What was that?
I'm a little curious where you are, because it doesn't look like your parents' house.
Let me just get off my bicycle here for a minute and move my beret and I'll just listen to a little. I'm sorry, I was just listening to some Serge Gainsbourg while I was staring at the Eiffel Tower.
Huh. Are you in Akron?
No, actually, no.
Oh, that was my guess.
I'm just going to have a big piece of brie for a second. There we go.
Brie. Okay, you're in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Dan, I'm in France still.
Whoa! I thought you'd left France.
Well. I was supposed to fly home from France yesterday.
Yeah, you were.
But on Saturday, my friends said, "Why don't you stay?"
Well.
And I thought, normally I would just reflectively be like, I can't. And I did that. I can't. And they're like, well, why not? I'm like, wait a minute. We unexpectedly put the dog in boarding because of some stuff going on with Oscar, who's in Stockholm. So wait a minute. I could stay for like a couple more days. Basically just nothing to it. Like I'm just in a house where there's room. So I could just stay here.
Wow.
And Dan, that's what I did.
That's a good choice. That was Maureen making a good choice.
Yeah, for the total cost of $125 to change a flight. 2 flights, in fact. And 1 more day of boarding. That's it.
You got it.
My mom is taking over. My mom's taking over some dog food to fill her, top up her supply for another day, and then Yeah, it feels like a pretty good decision.
That seems like an excellent decision.
Dan, I'm getting very used to being here in France. Like yesterday was hot. Today is more. It's been raining, a gentle French spring rain in the garden all day. So I've just been listening to the sound of rain drifting through the orange blossoms. You can hear it outside now and then, just the gentle French rain just coming down.
That sounds wonderful.
It's not terrible, Dan.
No.
This morning though, there's a little gym. I was like, I'll go to the gym because Dan, I will say
I
this.
thought it was just a little guy named Jim.
He just sits out there.
Yeah. Oh, hello, little Jim.
I have eaten a lot of. Welcome.
Oh yeah, we forgot that part.
The SaysWhovia podcast is not a podcast.
We just rolled right in. We
What are
just
you gonna
got
play?
going.
You want to play the song now?
Sure, why not?
Hit it. Welcome.
Yeah.
The SaysWhovia podcast is not a podcast.
It's a coping strategy. I am Dan Sinker.
And I'm Maureen Johnson, and I have eaten a lot of cheese. Every morning, there's a bakery delivery that they hang on the door.
That is incredible.
So every morning, a bag full of fresh baguettes, croissants, chocolate croissants,
Come on,
and
now.
turnovers turns up just on, like, whatever they've got. Like the morning selection just turns up on the door.
That's incredible. I want that in my life.
Every single morning.
That sounds amazing.
This morning they left it in this little sheltered alcove, so I had to pick it up and run through the rain with it. And I said, I am running through the rain with my baguette. I am officially French.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You've got citizenship.
Quickly, not the baguette. But yes, they make a truffled brie around here that they have everywhere.
Wow.
It's a brie with a thick layer of truffle cream in the middle.
Oh my word.
It's nuts.
That sounds good.
Sometimes we go to restaurants and it's all meat. It's like a meatatorium, and they have to make something. And they're like, you stupid vegetarian, we will make you a plate of vegetables. And then I just get a plate of vegetables.
Uh-huh.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Last night I had it's called Café au Gourmand, where you have or tea, where for your dessert, instead of getting one dessert, you get a cup of tea or coffee surrounded by a selection of usually like little mini versions of all the desserts.
Okay.
So like a mini mousse and a mini creme caramel and a mini ice cream and a mini, like, just so you get a little bit of everything. I am now a subscriber to this dessert.
That sounds amazing.
A lot of really good potato chips that we got at the store. Yeah, Dan, I'm in France. Je suis en France.
That sounds awesome. I'm glad. I'm glad that you stayed longer. You
didn't know where I was.
I didn't know. I wrote last night, I'm not sure where you are or when we're recording. And you were all, oh. It's my French.
It's so good.
You know.
Even though I'm in France, I have spent a bunch of time calling the Philadelphia Sheriff's Department, the court, detectives. I am pleased to tell you that I got that the guy I'm helping with my friend has got with her domestic abuse case. Her husband's out there somewhere, a bad dude. I'm pleased to tell you that he has been taken into custody again because I called everyone in the city of Philadelphia at 6:30 yesterday morning and was like, hey, I know where he's at.
Wow.
And the sheriff was like, who are you? And I was like, doesn't matter. And I had to I had to get a warrant from one person to another. And Dan, it was a lot of like, this is why nothing ever happens.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot of that yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
This guy doesn't even know I exist, Dan. He doesn't know that me, this hellhound that's after him. I like that. I like that. I like Literally a completely unknown shadowy figure.
You're like Batman.
I am like, hello, James.
You're
It's
Batman
me.
for suburban Philadelphia retirees.
It's me, James, the author of All Your Pain. That's me doing the guy from Spectre. Oh, hello, James. It's me, the author of All Your Pain. That's a weird movie. I don't know if you've seen it.
And you are an author, so it all works.
I am the author of All Your Pain. Did you see Spectre?
I think that's one of the James Bonds with that one guy.
Christoph Waltz?
No, like the guy that plays James Bond. Like what's his name?
Daniel Craig.
Yeah. I think I saw that over someone's shoulder on an airplane once.
It's a weird movie.
The weirdest movie I have ever seen over someone's shoulder on an airplane. I was flying somewhere. It was very long, and I was kept drifting in and out of sleep. It was only after the fact that I realized it's one of the new Planet of the Apes movies, because all I kept seeing was chimpanzees and Mark Wahlberg. And I kept being so confused because you would just kind of like, I would drift off to sleep and wake up, and there was like a chimpanzee doing a chimpanzee thing. And then I'd fall, and then I'd wake up and there's Mark, and then it was good. And I was completely confused as to what I was seeing. I watch a lot of movies over people's shoulders on
Well, that's the new
airplanes.
James Bond movie, actually. It's chimpanzees and Mark Wahlberg.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad they're stretching. They're
doing a new thing now.
Okay. Well,
new thing just dropped.
But yeah, I think I did see the Spectre over someone's shoulder on an airplane once. So I never heard any of the dialogue, but is that the one where they like race motorcycles on a roof?
I don't remember.
Okay. That's the main thing I remember.
It's just a very strange movie. I like Christoph Waltz a lot.
Okay.
But he's like James's long lost brother, and he's just done everything to make James Bond unhappy.
Well, there you go.
And he gives this big speech at the end about why all this is happening. He goes, "It's me, James, the author of All Your Pain." And then I think he does some evil dentistry, and he lives in a house full of satellite dishes. He has a compound full of satellite dishes.
Okay.
With an evil dentist chair in it.
Sure.
Gives long speeches. They have a ring.
What's the difference between a normal dentist chair and an evil dentist chair?
This
or is
guy.
It just the occupation of the dentist. The chair itself is normal.
It's just Christoph Waltz. Oh, it's me. Christoph Waltz, like it plays a lot of dentists.
Now I got to look up who Christoph Waltz is. I don't know who anyone is.
Have you seen Inglourious?
I've never seen that guy before in my life.
Have you seen Inglourious Bastards?
No.
Django Unchained?
No.
Spectre.
I'm looking at his thing. I've never seen a single movie that this man is in.
Really?
Not a single one. That is impressive.
He's a good actor.
I'm down to 2014 on his IMDb, and I've never seen any of these movies.
List some movies.
Well, you've listed a bunch. There's The Legend of Tarzan.
Haven't seen that.
Alita Battle Angel.
Haven't seen that.
Something called The Green Hornet. Water for Elephants.
Haven't seen it.
The Three Musketeers. I mean, literally, I'm in way down now.
What was he in most recently?
Well, this is a very weird list because it is not.
Okay, never mind then. It doesn't matter. This is not the Christoph Waltz cast.
Apparently, couldn't be. Yeah, I don't know what he's been in most recently because the order is all wacky.
Well, he's the baddie inspector.
Okay.
And they have an evil ring.
All right.
There's an evil ring.
Like a ring you wear? Or like a ring like a group of people?
I think it's both.
There's an evil ring in a James Bond movie?
Yeah.
Man, those have gotten weird.
Yeah. And then in the last one, Daniel Craig is in it. It's Remy, the guy that played Freddie Mercury is in it.
Okay.
And that's also, I watched that on a plane and I was like, this is another super dumb movie. Like, this is not good.
It's true. Well, this has been Dan and
Bondcast.
Maureen's James Bondcast.
But it's me.
Double O Maureen.
Zero set.
I just want to point out that Maureen is like fully slung back on a bed right now, just lounging. You're wearing some lounge pants.
I'm wearing
You got like a hoodie on.
Yeah, it's cold. It's a little cold today.
Yeah.
It was hot yesterday, so we swam.
Yeah. That's the same here in Chicago. It was 80 degrees yesterday, and it's 50 degrees today.
It's pretty cold. And I sat outside for most of the day. Also, I was telling you, I went to the gym to do a little exercise.
You visited with Little Jim.
And I was doing it's a little gym outside, and I found a remote control, and I was excited.
Okay.
I said, what does this do? I pressed the button, and it opened the roof slats, like it turned the roof into like an open air. It was like, what? So the roof is made of these like things
that's
like that, and like a
James Bond shit right there.
But here's the thing, Dad. I was like,
It
cool.
then also ejected you. You were on the treadmill, and then you just shot up through the roof.
That would have been preferable to what actually happened.
You got rained on.
Nope. That was a gentle rain coming down. It was very pleasant.
Okay.
What also came down was a scorpion.
Oh, sure.
I watched a scorpion go, like I could see I was like, ah, and he fell in. And I was like, oh, shit. And then I looked and he was gone. That scorpion hit the ground and scurried.
Yeah.
So it was just me and a scorpion somewhere. And I was like, I don't want to be in here. And now, of course, I'm assuming I'm covered in scorpions.
Right. Sure.
Which I don't want to be.
No, who would?
I don't want to be covered in scorpions.
No.
So, but I went inside, I was like, scorpion. And then I was like, scorpion in my hair. Scorpions. I check my hair for scorpions. And, but I was too afraid to go back in because there is a scorpion in there. I
don't really equate a scorpion with France.
Yeah, they have scorpions in the south of France.
Wow.
They have some that are just like a bee sting and some that'll really fuck you up.
But it's not like deserty, right? Like it's all nice and lush.
It's parts of it. This part's lush, but there are kind of drier, more deserty parts. But yeah, there's scorpions all over the place.
Wow.
This is the first scorpion I've seen at this house, though.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
So, and trust me, and I saw it. It was pretty big too, and it fell right into the room with me. Ah!
That's something. That's very James Bondy.
And then I ran away.
And then somebody peeked their head over the roof and was all, "I am the author of all your pain, Maureen Johnson."
And it wasn't a member of the German group, the Scorpions. Because if he fell in, he would have just been there to rock me like a hurricane. But this was a different, poor little bastard scorpion. Came in and then just was like, "I'm going to hide, Maureen, so that wherever you're going next, that's where I'm going to be."
Totally. I
was unhappy.
It's weird that you referenced the Scorpions and their hit song "Rock You Like a Hurricane," because earlier this morning I also referenced the Scorpions and their hit song "Rock You Like a Hurricane," and I had not thought about the Scorpions and their hit song "Rock You Like a Hurricane" in probably years until right now. And now I've referenced the Scorpions and their hit song "Rock You Like a Hurricane" many times.
Yeah. It's because you and I are on the same wavelength.
We're on the same wavelength.
There's a little rattling noise in this headphone. It goes, "Nyeh."
Is it a scorpion?
Yes.
There's a scorpion in your headphone.
It's not even a headphone. It's just a scorpion.
He's just speaking.
Hi, it's me.
In French.
You're saying, "Maureen, what are you doing? Who is she listening to?" "I'm the little scorpion in your ear. I'm the ear scorpion. I will tell her the details of another podcast and make her look incredibly stupid."
Well, it's been a bit since we talked. We didn't talk last week.
Well, we did a town watch.
We did a town watch. I mean like the main feed.
Well, luckily nothing's happened.
Well, in fact, that's incorrect.
Oh.
The Trump trial happening in your former city before you moved to France, New York City.
Too many scorpions.
It's probably all right. Anyway, Donald Trump's trial in full swing. Finally, after weeks of a never-ending parade of archivists and bankers, we got to the good stuff, Maureen. Last week, Stormy Daniels took the stand. This week, Michael Cohen is sitting there testifying.
Our man, Mr. Says Who.
It's it to me, it's like, man, this should feel like a real culmination of a lot. And I think if the man was not both running for president and in the process of winning that run for president, it would feel very celebratory.
It's
like,
different.
Yeah, it's like it should feel like we're on like a episode of The Love Boat and our favorite stars are coming on, but it doesn't feel like that.
No, it doesn't.
But we did get the two big guns showing up in Stormy and Michael Cohen. Last week, Stormy Daniels was on the stand for a few days, apparently speaking very fast. That was my main takeaway was how many different news sites referenced how quickly she spoke. I don't know how quick that is, but if everyone's mentioning it, she must have been really, really going fast. But she testified to the nature of the affair that she had with Donald Trump in excruciating detail, down to what brand of shampoo was in his bathroom.
What was it?
Pert Plus.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Pert Plus. Real shocker there. Twist.
I would have expected like something real spa-like, just.
Yeah, I think though that, again, this is a man who stopped evolving a long time ago, right? And so at some point, Pert Plus entered his grasp, his tiny grasp. This
is as good as it gets.
This is it. You got a shampoo and a conditioner in one. Who can do better than that?
Nobody. This
is human evolution at its finest. Anyway, she got into a lot of detail. I don't need to go into a lot of detail. We all know this shit.
No,
she didn't
no.
Go anywhere that she hasn't gone before.
Give us something, Dan.
Showed up, answered the door in his bathrobe. She told him basically, go change. And he did. Then he changed back into boxers and shit. And I don't need this. I don't need this in my life.
Come on, no, give me some more.
Nope. Anyway, the defense tried to portray Stormy as someone who lied about this affair for fame and money. Because remember, Donald Trump insists that he did not have an affair with Stormy Daniels. Which is very hard to believe when somebody is name dropping that you had Pert Plus in your bathroom.
Oh, a lot of people do.
A lot of people do, but you wouldn't know that without having access. Anyway.
It's true.
She did a good job of shutting that shit down, maintaining that she is worse off now than she was before she got entangled in all of this, which came off as pretty believable, I think. Because while we may know her name, I think a lot of real shitty people that like to make her life very difficult also know her name. So, but that was like 2 or 3 days last week, so it was really the majority of the week. And now Michael Cohen, he has adopted sort of an aw shucks kind of persona for this one. He's been on for now 2 days, talking about the payments to Stormy, what Trump knew, which is everything, and when he knew it, which is throughout. Mm-hmm. All trial, Michael Cohen has kind of been a specter in people's...
Oh, it's me, Donald, the author of all your pain.
He has been in pretty much everyone's testimony, and he's been portrayed almost exclusively as a real dick that nobody liked, which... believable. He clearly showed up to court to change his image in the jurors' minds. So he has been very quiet and deferential throughout his testimony. Of course, defense hasn't started in on him yet, and it'll be interesting to see how he kind of parries that. They will almost certainly take a similar tactic to Stormy Daniels, accusing Cohen of doing all of this to make money off of Trump. It's all happening. Should be wrapping up soon at this point.
Well, who's the defense going to call, Dan?
Nobody really knows. The big question still is whether Trump will take the stand. I think he won't, because he would need to answer whether or not he had an affair with Stormy Daniels, which he has maintained that he has not. And so either he will perjure himself, and he don't think he will put himself into that position, or he will have to contradict himself, which obviously isn't a big deal for him, but they have hooked a lot of their defense on the fact that she is lying about this affair.
Okay, Dan, but let's just say he goes on in the stand and says that he didn't.
Yeah.
How could they prove he did?
Well, I don't think necessarily that they could, right? Like, I don't know that they could charge him with perjury, or I mean, they sure could, right? But then they would need to kind of go through a lot to prove that. I mean, there is a lot of years of Stormy Daniels telling the same story, including from before he was running for president, from 2011, and from, right afterwards she texted her publicist and shit like that, so like you could sit back and prove it, in terms of the fact that he's lying about it. But I just don't think that they would. I don't think either side of this equation would want to kind of deal with that. And certainly I don't think they would want to put Donald Trump in a position where he would be found guilty of perjury, because that's, probably easier to find him guilty than the rest of the charges. So
what about all the contempt, Dan?
10 charges at this point. He spent 10 grand on fines. It does seem that he has reined in his unhinged attacks, certainly against the witnesses. See, it seems like he's still attacking the judge just as much, but the judge is not actually in the purview of that. He can't attack the judge's family. He can't attack Alvin Bragg's family, but he can attack Alvin Bragg and the judge. But the judge, after kind of the 10th one, did say, you need to shut this shit off or you may end up in jail. And that seemed to have actually worked. He seems to have shut that shit off, All
right.
Mostly what they've done is they have begun to really lean into surrogates, right? So allowing other people to say the stuff that essentially he would want to say anyway. So, and that's within the bounds of allowability.
Well, Dan, it sounds like it's going great.
It has. And the nice thing is, if you remember back when this trial started, we talked about how nobody was showing up for Donald Trump, no one from his family, no one at all. The man was all alone, just singing that all by myself song. And but now,
myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Dan. How are you? Hi, Dan. Hi.
Who is this?
You know who this is. It's me.
Oh,
Hi.
Why?
I want to see the
why
trial.
did that song come up and bring you? That doesn't seem fair.
Because I'm just one shoe.
Oh, God damn it.
That's not true. I'm here too. Shut up.
Oh, Lord.
It's me. 1%, 1%. Stop saying 1%. Vote for my man. Shut up. Vote for my man. Shut up. Vote for my man. Anyway, it's just me and me. Shut up. 1%. Shut up. I'm talking. Hey, Dan.
Are you done?
Maybe. I want to hear more about the gross stuff.
I'm not telling you anything about
Come on, tell
stuff.
me.
No, I'm not
Mama
doing it.
wants to know.
I refuse.
It's for my fanfic.
Nope.
Fanfic about the trial that I write it about me and my man. My man uses Pert Plus, you know what I mean? He's Pert Plus, you know what I mean, Dan?
No, I don't. And I don't want to know what you mean.
Yes, you do.
It's horrible. I hate
You
this.
do.
No.
You know exactly what I mean.
No.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Anyway,
What?
I'm just moving on here.
My man moves on. You know what I mean?
So, one interesting element of the
Can't
trial.
ignore me, Dan.
I'm absolutely going to ignore you.
I'll keep coming through.
I'm just pushing forward on this.
I'll keep coming through too. Shut up.
Oh my God. I'm just pushing on my eyeballs so I can feel something.
Yeah, I'm into that. Pushing on balls, huh? I'm into that too. Shut up. Okay, you can say that. My sister and I have that in common at least. One for each of us. All right. Okay, that's enough. That is enough.
All right. So, most notable this week at the trial has been an influx of vice presidential hopefuls showing up.
Oh, time for the weirdo parade.
Yeah. I mean, it is such a clear attempt to curry favor that I have to almost respect it. But this week, and it's only Tuesday, J.D. Vance has shown up.
No good.
North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum.
That's a guy, apparently.
He was the guy that was basically if you gave $1, he would send you a $20 gift card just so that he could qualify for the debates. Another VP hopeful who I didn't even know about, Florida Congressperson Byron Donalds, has been showing up.
Sure.
Vivek Ramaswamy has been there.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It is a whole thing now. If you want to run for VP, you got to show up to the trial now, which is just fantastic.
It's such a weird. It's like a freak show club.
Yeah. Eric Trump has also been showing up pretty much every day, but I think Dojo has not, and certainly what's her name, Ivanka, has not. Barron has not. Barron, I think, is graduating this week, maybe
high school.
Yes, and very briefly was announced that he would be a representative at the Republican National Convention for Florida. And then then it was announced that he wasn't. I think Melania was like, fuck no.
You have to wonder what, and believe me, I don't give 2 consecutive fucks about Melania.
Yeah.
But just out of curiosity, you do have to wonder what the fuck she is thinking throughout all this.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
It's just very, very embarrassing to be married to Donald Trump.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I also think by the time you're the third wife, you know that going in.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and whatever equation you do for yourself, you accept that that's that.
This is not a dignified position.
No, you're not going in expecting dignity. I don't think you have a lot when you enter into that contract.
No.
Anyway, if you're running for VP, you're showing up to the trial unless you are South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, another shortlisted person who honestly, up until very recently, I assumed was getting the gig. But now, she published a book in which she told what I guess she thought was a heartwarming story about killing a puppy.
Yeah, I don't even touch this story with a 10-foot. No, I don't. Nope. No details. Just keep it away from me.
Yeah, won't go into the details other than she thought somehow that was a story that would work for something.
Mm-hmm.
It kicked up quite a media firestorm, as one might expect.
Yeah.
And instead of trying to climb out of that hole, she just dug further in, saying that, sometimes you just got to kill a dog. In fact, maybe Joe Biden should kill his dog.
What the fuck?
It's amazing. You could just kind of see her VP position just evaporate. Just in front of her, and then she decided to just go for it. The book apparently contains a lot of factual inaccuracies, like things like she met North Korea leader Kim Jong-un, which never happened.
Sure.
At all.
I've made that mistake too.
Yeah, she has since thrown her ghostwriter under the bus for that one.
Sure.
Though classily, there was no ghostwriter listed on the book, so it's one of those.
I mean, good for that ghostwriter. If I was doing, not that I would take that job, but if you did, I'd be like, I won't be anywhere near this. Just nope. You don't have to put me on there. Well, that's the thing about ghosts. They don't show up in there. Like that's the whole ghosts don't. They're ghosts.
Yeah, but I feel like nowadays you get a lot of like so and so with blah blah blah.
Yeah. But sometimes
like there is some credit given often, but not this one.
Nope. Sometimes they don't.
They need to toss that person right underneath.
Yeah, ghostwriters do have a tendency to make up meetings you've had with North Korean leaders.
Yeah, it happens.
That's just something. That's the ghostwriter's code. Just make shit up.
Yeah, that's how it works. Apparently, what they said was they gave the ghostwriter a list of people that she had met, and for some reason, Kim Jong-un was on there.
Right.
But that the details of the meeting were all just ghostwriter fantasy.
Sure.
That's how it works.
That's how books work for sure. Mm-hmm. And she also went on a book tour, which she canceled due to bad weather. And boy, oh boy, did I have a good laugh at that for a while. Laughed like a goddamn drain, Dan.
And why is that?
Because absolutely nothing described here is how books work. Not one part of it. Somehow, okay, there's always some branch of a publisher that's it's Jagoffs Incorporated that publishes the books by these assholes. It tends to be with this one publisher. There's one division at one, so there's big publishers, but then they have inside, all right, gather around. The big publishers are names you've heard. Penguin Random House. It used to be Penguin and Random House. Now it's Penguin Random House.
Yeah.
Simon and Schuster, HarperCollins, Macmillan. So the inside of those companies are what are called imprints.
Yeah.
They're basically smaller companies so when you say as I do, HarperCollins as a publisher, I'm with one, the actual place that puts out your book is an imprint.
Yeah.
And they're all different and they all do different things. So there'll be lots and lots of them. And they'll be like cookbook imprints and nonfiction imprints and mystery imprints and romance imprints and picture book imprints and middle grade. And so they often have an imprint that's like political nonfiction. And there's one editor, there's a division. I don't know if this was the Simon Schuster book, but I'm going to guess it was. And I'll have like a 78% chance of being right.
I'm going to look this up.
They're not the only ones that do it, but they end up publishing a lot of them.
Is this the one? Oh, no. I didn't know that the book was called Not My First Rodeo.
Yeah. Every part of it is bad.
Oh, that's hilarious. It is a Hachette.
Okay.
I'm surprised at that.
Well, there's a division then. There's an imprint somewhere in there that is so there'll be a couple editors here and there. There's one big one at Simon and Schuster that buys a lot of these edgelords books. And like everything else, they have their own little incel inside, generally unliked by the others, that are willing to put out these stupid books. And because whenever you're running for office, you have to write a book. So it's basically a cottage industry of, these weirdos find a writer that's like, I'll give you 3 hours of my life. No more, no less.
Oh, wait, hold on. I might have
Oh?
the Not My First Rodeo was her first book. This one is called No Going Back.
I have heard of Not My First. Okay.
Yeah. So hold on. Let's see. Published by, drumroll, Center Street.
Okay, where's Center Street?
I'm looking that up. That is a real generic title.
And it might be a smaller.
It's an imprint of Hachette. So
okay.
Also same.
Yeah,
deal.
it was probably a 2-book deal.
Yeah.
Or the same editor bought another one
from this. Yeah, this appears to be their sort of political nonfiction imprint.
Anyway, that's how that works. But certainly you sit down and the ghostwriter has to assemble whatever weirdness you've told them into a narrative that sounds like it came from you. You are, in general, supposed to read the book before it comes out, even if you haven't written it. So when she gave interviews and didn't know that these things were in the book, that's a bad look.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It's strange.
My favorite thing about all of this stuff is how they keep issuing sort of like, well, we found this inaccuracy, but don't worry, we're changing it right now. Like, that also is not how books work.
No, it's really not. But books are not fact-checked.
Yeah, you know.
Like someone who, I would imagine, say like an Eric Larson, does his research, and I would imagine independently has references for days in the back of the book, can show all of his homework. But lest you think that you go in and there's like a fact checker that goes in and goes through the books. That is not a thing.
So this is Kristi Noem on Face the Nation, where the host asks, you talk about meeting some world leaders, and one specific one, did you meet Kim Jong-un? To which Kristi replies, well, as soon as this was brought to my attention, I certainly made some changes and looked at this passage. I've met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. As soon as it was brought to my attention, we went forward and have made some edits.
That's when you want to make the edits, is after the book's out.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
That's generally when you do it.
Yeah. This anecdote shouldn't have been in the book. And as soon as it was brought to my attention, I made sure that it was adjusted.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works.
That's how that works.
You publish the books and then you make the changes.
Dan, I would imagine this book was written in 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
This book was written on a cocaine weekend by someone who was like, I will pay you a bag of cash to take my weird story and turn it into a book because I'm running for office and I need this done yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. I need something that's going to make me look good.
Yeah.
Make sure to highlight the story of me murdering a puppy.
Yeah. Put that in there. Let's just call it 70,000 words. Doesn't have to be super long. You can write that fast. You write 10,000 words a day for 7 days and we'll be done.
Yeah. Yep. Indeed. So it seems as if she has immolated her chances at being a vice president, because this is, I think, one thing that does unite the left and the right.
Yeah.
It's killing pets.
Yeah. That's we still have that.
Yeah.
We have so little, but we have that.
Yeah, but we do have that. So we've got that. But she's a uniter, not a divider. Anyway, Maureen, there's one additional piece of news that has transpired in the last little bit since we last recorded that feels, in fact, the teen in posting into our family chat said, this reads like a Says Who bit. And in fact, it does, because spoiler presidential candidate RFK Jr., noted conspiracy theorist and anti-vaxxer, admitted to the New York Times about a week ago that doctors found a dead worm in his brain that had eaten part of his brain.
As many times as I've heard this over the last couple of days, it still makes me laugh every single time.
And here's the thing about it, Maureen. It's like getting brain worms as the thing that makes you an anti-vaxxer conspiracy theorist is like a bit. And then it turns out that that's exactly what happened to this man.
Dan, we did say that this year was going to be, the 2024 was going to throw some stuff at us.
There have been so many good memes about this, but my very favorite is a little sketched drawing of an RFK Jr. head, and in his forehead is a windshield, and inside is the little Richard Scary worm driving a little
cartoon apple,
the apple car, but instead it's not an apple, it's RFK
brain.
Jr.'s head.
Dan, it's May.
It's May.
It's just going to keep coming for us, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is going to happen with the trial? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think, Dan? What do you think is going to happen with the trial?
I think that there is a non-insignificant chance that he will be convicted.
Okay, then what?
This has been always the case that people say is weakest, in part because making these sort of falsification of business records into a felony instead of a misdemeanor has always been a little bit of a stretch, right? And the way that it's a felony is that it's a campaign finance violation instead of just a business record falsification. But they are making the case that he was at the center of this, and that the motivating factor for this was to protect his standing in the presidential campaign. Like, it seems as if they are doing a better job of proving that than the defense is in disproving that. Now, I've always kind of wondered, does the jury have leeway enough that they could say, yes, but this is more misdemeanor than it is full conviction? I don't know. But it does seem, at least right now, they've been making a better case. The defense, that they will attack Michael Cohen's credibility heavily, but it doesn't necessarily undo the fact that he has clearly paid money to Stormy Daniels that he didn't need to, because he was not, it's like the facts line up. I think he might be convicted. I think that there's an interesting, I've read some analysis that the Stormy Daniels testimony might end up landing this in some shaky footing later on down the way. If you remember, Harvey Weinstein just was found, was released or whatever on at least one of the trials. And the center of that was that testimony that was unrelated to the actual trial ended up prejudicing the jury against him, right? And I've read some things that say the Stormy Daniels stuff definitely reached a level that they will at least make that argument. In fact, the lawyers almost immediately at the lunch break argued that they should call a mistrial. And then they also called that again, I think the next day as well. And the judge kind of shot it down, basically saying, like, you could have objected to some of this, because the basic thing here is that, the what's on trial is falsification of business records. Whether he had the affair or not, the details of the affair don't apply. So that's kind of what they're basically saying. And they're saying that Stormy's testimony may have prejudiced the jury against him. So
certainly made them queasy, Dan.
Yeah, Indeed. But yeah, so I think they are, to me, it's, and obviously I'm just reading the same fucking highlights that everyone else is. Seems like they're making the case. I wouldn't be surprised if they find some level of guilt involved. And then it will be immediately appealed, and the appeal will hinge around the idea that he did not get a fair trial.
And let's just say he was found guilty. Do you think that there's not, I mean, the chance of him getting, jail time?
Right. So therein lies the thing that I actually don't know the answer to, which is can he just be kind of found guilty for things that might end up a misdemeanor versus something that would land him in jail? And I don't know the answer to that. I think even if he were to be found guilty in a way that would land him in jail, I don't think he would go to jail. I think he would, immediately appeal, but who knows? But we should know pretty soon.
Yeah, are you excited?
I guess. I don't know.
Come on, let me hear a little more enthusiasm. You excited, Dan?
I guess.
All right, there it is.
There it was.
There it is.
But we didn't spend a lot of time on the brainworms.
No.
I don't know that I've ever had a politician admit to something that elicits more of a reaction of, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Than, oh, they found a dead worm in my brain. It had eaten part of my brain.
There's literally a worm in my brain.
Yeah.
It's beyond parody. That's why we have little to say about it.
It is.
Kristi Noem, vote for me. I shot a dog.
Mm-hmm.
RFK, vote for me. I had a literal worm eat part of my literal brain.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump, we have to hear about his weird toadstool wiener and all kinds of stuff. And listen, man, look, these are hard truths. And it is mid-May, Dan, and we are barreling.
Yeah.
June, July, August, September, October.
Mm-hmm.
June is where the spice has already kicked in, but like truly we're in it now. And we're not going to get another trial, are we?
No, we're not getting another trial before anything. At this point, the closest thing was Florida, but that judge has since kind of pushed it off completely. There's no rescheduled date at this point, so who knows? I mean, for as much of a moron as the man is, he certainly knows how to delay trials. That is he's hired well on that. That is his thing. On that tip. And, tip of the hat, I suppose, for being that good at exploiting the legal system.
Everybody's good at something.
Yeah. Is to take 4 indictments and only get one that actually goes to trial before you need it to.
Good for him.
Yeah, good job, buddy. Way to go.
Yeah. Well, then, when you next speak to me, I'll be back in the United States.
Maybe you'll just keep extending.
Well, I can't. They're leaving. Like this is over at the end of the week.
Oh.
So
maybe they'll all decide to stay. Maybe you all have decided
to live here together in this house.
Mm-hmm. Sounds pretty great, doesn't it?
It wouldn't be terrible to have to live here in this house.
Yeah, it sounds good. Other than the scorpion that you don't know where it is.
He is out there.
He's right behind you. I see him crawling across the pillow.
I scratched at myself for 15 minutes after that. And now that you've said that, I'm now rubbing at my forehead.
Maybe he's just a nice little scorpion.
He fell right. You could almost hear the little, like it really was. Right?
Except in French.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh no. Sacre bleu. Man. And there will be no bag of pastries and fresh bread on the door.
That's sad. In fact, you'll be in Philly, so they'll just whip a batter at your door instead.
I'll be like, if you want to roll, I have to go to Wawa, and they'll be like, hey, fuck you. And then I'll be like, it's good to be home.
Yep. I could do with a Wawa sub right
Honestly, that didn't make me upset to think about it.
now. No, I could really eat one of those. Oh, that would be good.
Oh, yeah. A nice Wawa is
I
not
called it
bad.
a sub. I apologize.
That's all right. I'm not mad at you.
Apologize to your people. It's a hoagie.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you, Dan.
I appreciate your leniency on that, but I really beefed that one.
Beefed it.
I did. Anyway, Says Who.
SaysWhovia is brought to you by you.
There you go.
No, you do it. You're better at it.
Your support of our Patreon at patreon.com/SaysWho. That's our Patreon where most every Sunday you get this all over again. Who wouldn't want that? Where we do a little thing called the Town Watch. Half an hour, a little looser. And that's for people to give at the $5 or $10 a month level. That's all yours at patreon.com/SaysWho. Our theme music is performed by Ted Leo. Our logo was designed by Darth. You can contact us at Says Who Podcast on Threads or at Says Who at omfg.town on Mastodon. You can email at that is HEY at SaysWhoPodcast.com. Join the discussion on Facebook at /group/SaysWhovians. Our Facebook group is moderated by Janice Dillard. There's also the fan-run Discord server at tinyurl.com/SaysWhoDiscord. Whatever you do, spread the word, subscribe, leave stars and reviews on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever it is that you can listen. And you join us next Wednesday, May 22nd. I wrote that one down, and that one shocked me. I was like, Jesus, that's like the year is almost half over.
It's not great.
Yeah, for our very next episode from my basement in Chicago, I am Dan Sinker.
I'm just quickly seeing what the updates are on the trial right now.
Probably at lunch.
Let's see, they're back. Cohen recounts apologizing to Congress, to the American people for lying to him. It's okay, Dan. It's okay. Mike, we got a podcast name out of it. He's sorry. He's very sorry. He's extremely sorry. He's just very sorry, Dan.
Yeah.
But we knew a winner when we saw one. We heard him say, Says who? Says who? And we knew what we wanted.
The right horse.
And we really did.
Well,
I've just gotten a message that we're about to go to dinner. So.
Well, time for you to
right. Go. From this beautiful place, and from a beautiful rainy French garden. Die Maureen Johnson.
And this has been Says Who. What's for French dinner tonight?
I don't know. I have no idea where we're going, but sometimes we eat and cats are around us and dogs, and they bring cheese and the special olive oils and carafes of wine, and everyone goes, oh.
That sounds good.
It's not bad, Dan.
It's not bad.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
I'm not mad about it.
Shouldn't be.